Today on Divorce Court.
I'm here on divorce court today to resolve issues with my fiance. He's disrespectful, embarrassing, and mean.
When I first met Sarah, she was caring, loving, and charismatic, and now she's just distant.
I would like the judge to tell Branden to work on his attitude and to treat me more like the mother of his children than a nanny.
Sarah, I need you to make me a priority. I need you to communicate with me. I need you to just love me for who I am.
Branden, I need you to change your attitude and show me that you love me more.
Divorce Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Sara Morrison and Branden Jones. The two of you have been together for 5 years, engaged for the last 3 years. You have one child together that's 15 months old. And Mr. Jones, you have 3 children from a prior relationship that live with you. Ms. Morrison, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship and why we're here today?
We're here today because I'm not a priority to my fiance anymore. It's always just about work and the children. We don't cuddle anymore at night. He doesn't do a lot of things that he used to do. I feel alone most of the time, and I would like to resolve most of our issues before we decide to get married or not and see if it's a good idea.
I have a "so sad" written on my paperwork because you said the last time he hugged me was over a year ago. Is that true?
Yes.
Mr. Jones, why don't you respond to what she says? Do you know why she feels that way?
Yes, I do understand why she feels that way. But I have hugged her in the last year several times. Her birthday was in August 4th. I took her out to dinner. We had a good time. I hugged her. I gave her a kiss. We cuddled that night. So I don't think August 4th was a year ago. And to be honest with you, I hugged her before we even got here.
So like that's 2 in a year.
I show her affection every day, before work, after work.
In what way?
I hug her, I kiss her, I tell her I love her.
You see, I don't believe that, because when I said you haven't hugged her in a year, and she said, no, I hugged her on her birthday. If you hugged her every day, you would have come out with, I hug her every day. But now you're backtracking because you know how bad it sounds.
Okay.
So, again, I'm going to ask you, why do you think she feels you don't care about her?
Because I go to work every day. I take care of the kids. And, you know, whenever there is time left over, I ask her, hey, why don't we watch TV? Why don't we, you know, hang out? And you know what my response is that I get?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. But when we get back there, she's either Facebooking or texting somebody else.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey, I thought we were watching TV 12 times, and out of 12 times, I get a response once.
Okay. Interestingly enough, you say the same thing, that you don't feel like you're a priority or important in her life. Tell me what she's not doing that makes you feel that way.
I'll ask, you know, let's have a movie night. Let's go out to dinner. And whenever it's time to go, I ask her, you know, are you ready to go? No, I don't feel like going now. And this is 20 minutes before we're supposed to leave.
Ms. Morrison, does he try to engage with you and you're either on social media or refuse to go out with him? Does that happen?
Yes, sometimes. I'm the stay-at-home mom, and I take care of all 4 children, so he's usually at work or out with friends or doing something, and I'm alone with 4 children. Our youngest son, he's very hard to take care of, and I'm usually helping the other 3 do something while trying to contain him all by myself.
Right.
I get exhausted, I get overwhelmed, I feel like alone most times, so I get exhausted and I don't feel like doing those things anymore.
Anything once the evening comes.
Right.
What would you like him to do if going out is too much?
I would like him to help with the children more, because sometimes even when he's not at work, he's back in the room watching TV and I'm left to still do the things by myself. So I would like him to put more effort in. To me, if he would help with the children more, I would feel more like doing those things. In the first part of our relationship, we met online. We were like so in love. We moved in quick together. He would cuddle me, buy me flowers. We would go places. Even when after we had our son for a little while, we would do these things. and it just has suddenly changed. And yes, he does try sometimes, but I'm so overwhelmed with the children by myself.
Let's get some background on this so I understand and are certain what's going on here. You had 3 children from a previous relationship.
Yes.
And at some juncture, after you got with her, you got custody of all 3 and brought them home with you.
Yes.
Is that correct? How long ago was that?
It was about a month ago.
And she's 25 years old.
Yes.
Do you see how such a tremendous change in circumstance may be a little bit overwhelming to her?
I do. But before the kids came, we sat down
Right.
for several days and
Right.
talked this over.
Right.
I said, are you sure this is going to be something that you're comfortable with, that you're going to be able to handle, and that we should do together? And she said, yeah, I can handle it.
Right.
And she was all for it.
My point was not that you brought them in against her will. My point is, now that they're there, are you being sufficient support to help her with such a drastic change? At 25, if I had a baby and 3, I'd be in an asylum. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I wouldn't have been able to function. Are you doing what you need to do to assist her in such a Herculean task?
Yes. There's days that I work overnight, and then there's days that I work afternoon in the same week. So the days that I'm on afternoon, in the mornings, I wake up, I cook them breakfast, I make them lunch, and then I put hers aside on a separate plate in the microwave for whenever she gets up, she has something to eat.
Does he do all that?
No.
Did he do it once and is just claiming he does it all the time, or
I mean,
or did he just make it up
no, he has done it, but not.
regularly?
Yeah, I get up with our son. I put our son to sleep. I change our son's diapers, all while waking 3 other kids up and making all 3 kids breakfast. Because honestly, I mean, when he works overnights, I don't expect him to stay up in the morning
Right.
and do all of that. So I get up and I always do it. But every once in a while, I need a break, and I don't feel like I'm getting that.
I got you. Mr. Jones, I want to change the subject just for a moment here. You contend that you don't feel like you're a priority either, and that she's a bit lazy and self-centered. And you told me a story about your shoulder that I want you to repeat to me so I can get a clear picture of just what's going on at your house. Did you walk out of the doctor's office?
I did walk
Why?
out of the doctor's office because, like, whenever I'm talking to the doctor, she'll start talking over me, and that right there is disrespectful.
And this is her doctor appointment about her son and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Suck it up. So tell me about the time that your shoulder was hurt and she wasn't going to do what she needed to do.
I had this surgery probably about 6 months ago, and you know she was doing everything she needed to do to help me in the beginning, but about a month and a half into it, I needed someone to help me, you know, shower because I couldn't reach my shoulders
Sure.
or my back, and I asked her about 11 o'clock in the morning to help me. It was about 10 o'clock at night before she responded with, "Hey, you still need that shower?" No, now I want to go to sleep.
I want to go to sleep. Do you recall that, Mrs. Morrison?
Yes.
Can you tell me what was going on, how you were feeling, and why you responded that way?
He has a very terrible attitude. He's disrespected me many times in front of family, friends.
Give me some examples of the things he said.
We were at my son's first doctor's appointment, and my son and I both had our son together. We both got terrible infections because I had a C-section, and I was in the hospital for a week and a half, and my son was in a different hospital for the first 3 weeks of his life. And so the first 4-week appointment for our son, we were in there, and I messed up a date or something little like that, and he mumbled stuff under his breath in front of the doctor and then stormed out of the doctor's office and left me and my son in there to finish the appointment while the doctor's like, what's going on? Did I do something? Like, just completely embarrassing. Or in front of my family, he's allergic to mushrooms and they use cream of mushroom soup and green beans, and I didn't realize that's what it was. And I served him some of that and he realized what it was. And he threw the plate against the wall in front of all of my family and just stormed off and walked home because we weren't far from home. So those are just some instances. He can be very disrespectful at any moment, and then I don't feel like I remove myself from the situation.
Do you get disproportionately angry when she does something wrong or not quite correct?
No, I didn't throw no plate. I didn't disrespect her. Now,
Did you walk out of the doctor's office?
yes, I did walk
Why?
out of the doctor's office because, like, whenever I'm talking to the doctor, she'll start talking over me. And that right there is disrespectful. Like, if one person's talking, you're supposed to let the person at least be able to hear and listen to what somebody's saying to them, instead of, you know, chiming in over top of them. It sounds like a circus going on in the doctor's office.
And this is her doctor appointment about her son and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Suck it up.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Be a big boy.
Gotcha.
She got an infection, son was sick, she was sick, and she was interested in her body and her baby. And maybe she said a little too much when you were talking. Suck it up.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
You don't know when you come in third. You were third.
Gotcha.
And it kind of says something about you. I think he's rigid, and I think he is quietly tyrannical. He's got this attitude that has risen because I called him on something.
Okay.
And I think that's why you guys are on such different pages, because I thought it was bizarre that both of you said the exact same thing, that you thought you weren't important and you needed to be respected, and neither one of you was. Usually it's just one party, but I think I see what's going on, and I think I know why. Gonna ask you a few more questions just to clear it up, then I'm gonna tell you what I think ought to be done. What is the one thing about her that distresses you the most?
I'll ask her something, she'll have her phone in her face, and no response.
Do you live in that phone? Would you be okay caring for your partner's children from a prior relationship? Tell us what you think at Divorce Court. You said in your paper something very endearing. If it wasn't for Sara, I probably wouldn't be here. Why would you say that?
Because she's all I had. You know, we were drug addicts at one point, and I lost everything. You know, I didn't really have family before I started using drugs, you know, with her. All I had was her, and we decided to get clean together. And if she wouldn't have, you know, either stuck by me or she didn't want to get clean with me, I would probably be dead because, you know, I wouldn't have had anything to live for.
Did you hear that? I think he means that. I really do. And I don't think he's a bad guy. I think that he just doesn't know how to treat you, and he doesn't know how to tackle the problem. Let me ask you this. What is the one thing about her that distresses you the most, that makes you feel like she doesn't hold you as a priority?
I would say her listening skills.
Expound on that.
Like, 9 times out of 10, I'll ask her something, she'll have her phone in her face, and no response. And then once I start to ask again, she could tell, like, I'm starting to get irritated, is when she'll turn the situation around. Oh, you're treating me bad, you're making me feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know exactly
all I
what's
did
happening.
was ask you for a second time the same question.
Do you live in that phone?
When I'm not taking care of the kids.
Yeah. That's your new drug, is that phone. That's how you soothe yourself. That's how you calm yourself. That's how you cope with all the stuff that's going on in the house. And then instead of just using it when you have downtime, you're using it when you ought to be talking to your man. And you have to be aware of that. What would you like to say, Mr. Jones?
Another thing about the priority, like, if she don't hear me, I'll send her a message, and she got that phone in her hand, so it's either vibrating or making a noise right in her face, or it shows an icon that there's a message received. I won't get a response.
Oh, you don't understand what I'm explaining to you. Everything I just talked to you about is an example of that.
I get
She's
it.
ignoring you.
I get it.
But I just explained that I know she's ignoring you, and then you gave me another example to prove, I know she's ignoring you.
Okay.
I get that. She's ignoring you. I can tell you why she's ignoring you, and I can tell you what you need to do and what you need to do to get this ship aright. What would you do if your partner chose their phone over you? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. I think you are two good people who got swallowed up by your circumstances. You know, the drug thing happened, you saw each other through it, and now you're together, and all you see is the individual pressures that you're under. It is a Herculean task to be 25 years old and have preteens and a child. And I don't think you understand how emotionally unprepared she is for that. And it's just not a matter of time, it is a matter of maturity and experience that she doesn't have to cope. Do you see what I'm saying about that? So you need to supply her with that. You need to be compassionate. You need to be patient. You need to be understanding. You need to find a babysitter. And you need to do all of those things because she's not getting taken care of emotionally, and she is overwhelmed. When she said she would do it, she didn't know how difficult it would be. If you asked her again, I'd still think she said she would do it because she loves you like that. You need to put the phone down. It is not the answer to your problems. It soothes you temporarily, but what you're doing is you're adding to the problems that you already have, which is not paying attention to the man who's gonna make you feel better if you give him an opportunity. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I know it's easy, but you can't get an attitude. You just can't. If you want to be a leader in the home, you have to lead with kindness and maturity, not get mad at the doctor's office and walk out because she's talking over you about her own medical condition. Do you see what I'm saying?
I get it.
It requires a level of little bit of hero. You know, don't get angry. Get, hey, babe, I know you're under stress. This is what we need to do. Or, hey, baby, I got a babysitter. I don't want to hear about it. We're out. All of that. Hey, baby, you come in and you hug her and hold. She says she hasn't been hugged in a year. That may or may not be true. But that's how she feels. So a hug every day is called for. And you're not doing that. You and I both know that's not happening. She's not feeling loved and cared for. She's probably not particularly lovable because she's upset and overwhelmed and angry. But that's when the hero comes in, because you gotta love her when she's least lovable. You with me?
I'm with you.
Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
This matter's adjourned.
You're 25 years old. You know, you have this task, you have 4 children. Are you okay taking this on still?
Yes, I would do anything for him and our children. And I know I have stuff to work on too, but I'll always do it.
So how are you ready to step up and take care of her emotionally after today?
You know, take the judge's advice and, give her hugs every day, tell her how beautiful she is and what she means to me.